We missed you yesterday, Stephen. You were gallivanting at an air show. You must have been having fun there.
Oh, mate, it was fabulous. I sent you some of the footage. That F-22 Raptor, that is a serious beast.
No, that's a good bit of kit, some of that. Beast. Let's get into super. How do you argue, how does the Labor Party argue against this being a broken promise?
Well, look, John Howard in 1997-98 said, in 96 said there'd be no GST.
Yeah.
He then announced he was going to introduce the GST and it would come in after the 1998 election. And so no one accused him of actually breaking a promise. And what Labor's saying is we're going to introduce this starting from 2025, after the next federal election. So John Howard didn't break a promise when he did it.
But the kicker is that it's going to be legislated.
Well, it can be repealed if we are defeated at the next election. So
yeah, but how hard is that going to be? Because if they make changes on the definition of what superannuation is, then it's very difficult for them to be able to make changes in the future, right? Well, the Liberal Party, I enjoyed your interview with Angus there. The problem is when you say something in 2016 and you passionately mean it. Your best question was, did you believe it then? It was very funny. But when you actually asked him, are you going to repeal it? The answer is no. So they are going to campaign viciously against it between now and the next election, make it an election issue, and then they're going to keep it afterwards. I mean, here's how you do it, Angus. You go, we will repeal it. We're opposed to it and we'll repeal it. Because he won't repeal it because he knows it's the right thing to do. Right, but it's still a broken promise. If it's being implemented after the next election and the Australian public get to vote about that policy and others at the next election and they defeat us, the Liberal Party can say today we will repeal it. I don't think, look, I don't think many people are going to argue with the fact that the nation's uber wealthy should have to pay extra taxes, I mean, I think that in the interests of being fair, that's fair enough. But the point is that nothing gets people more nervous than tinkering with super. And the inevitable question will be, well, are there going to be changes that come in underneath that? Down to 2 million, maybe 1.5 million. No, all fair points, and it's Albo and Jim's job to reassure the public. And I think they've already started to do that. There'll be no further changes of superannuation in the life of this term. Yeah, but can we take them at their word now? That's the next question. If they were to shift that. If they were to shift on that, I think they would suffer a terrible credibility hit if they change. After being so firm, now no more changes. Okay, but this change doesn't come in till after the next election. The Australian public get to vote whether they want this policy or not before it comes into effect after the 2025 election. Do you agree with that fact that nothing makes people more nervous than tinkering with retirement savings? Oh, look, no question. Both political parties have got a long history of wanting to change the rules around this. It's an important national piece of infrastructure. The wealth that is generated, that is put back into Australian job-creating projects across the country and around the world, and bringing returns to help people in their superannuation, in their retirement. These are all positive, so people do get nervous, and I can understand why. People go, wait, just a minute. I thought you said nothing. No, okay, it's after the next election. Yeah, but then is it capital gains? Is it capital gains tax? Don't let Angus off the hook. Is it trusts? I mean, Jim Chalmers, he wasn't that convincing on that this morning. Is that where they're eyeing off? Well, Albo has made it very clear. No more changes on super. No tax, capital gains tax or anything on housing. And it's up to the government now, going into this next budget, to reassure the public that they haven't got any. Is that? I've got to be quick here. I've got to be quick here, but I've got so many questions for you today, Stephen. If you make a play for capital gains tax on the family home, is that an election defeat you'd be staring at there? That would be, I think Albo's right, that would be a very harsh thing to do, and it would be, politically, to borrow from Sir Humphrey Appleby, very courageous. Yeah.